So before a memorial gets built on the National Mall, it goes through a pretty extensive process.
That's right.
So let's say that I know a person who I think was really spectacular, or there's an event that I think the people from this event really ought to be honored, and I think they deserve a memorial. So how exactly does that process even get started?
Yeah, it is a long road. Some memorials can take as many as like 40 years to get started. It starts with initiation. So it starts with a grassroots effort. To build a memorial, you need an organization that's first going to push for it. For example, the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial, which just opened in 2011, his fraternity actually were the ones who really started the effort. So you need an organization to pull together. They have to petition Congress. They have to find a member of Congress to advocate for them. And then the member of Congress proposes it to Congress, and they actually have to pass a law to say, we're going to build this memorial somewhere in Washington, D.C.
So when you say pass a law, we're talking pretty standard schoolhouse rock.
Yeah, bill becomes
process
law.
Here. I'm just a bill sitting on Capitol Hill.
Exactly.
And how hard is it for the sponsor to actually find a Congress member? I mean, if we're talking about Martin Luther King, I imagine there are many people in Congress who would be perfectly happy to be the one to spearhead a Martin Luther King memorial. So is it pretty easy? How does that process work?
I think it depends on what you're trying to memorialize. Congress apparently gets hundreds of proposals every single year. So I'm sure some of them never get, off the desk of the congressman or the staffer. But in the works, there's a bunch already in the works. There's a Desert Storm Memorial. There's, as I mentioned, a World War I Memorial. There's an Eisenhower Memorial. But I imagine only a tiny fraction of those that are proposed actually make it. And even before that, there's a lot of qualifications like, does this have national importance? Would this have great visitorship? So there's a lot of factors even before, a congressman would even look at it.
Hey, thanks for listening to this podcast highlight. This is just a small piece of the entire episode. So if you want to hear the whole thing, you can search for Trip Hacks DC in your favorite podcast app. Or head on over to triphacksdc.com/podcast. If you like getting these clips, make sure to subscribe to this channel by clicking or tapping on the Trip Hacks DC logo, which is popping up right now at the bottom of the screen. If you want to watch another clip, go ahead and click or tap up here. Or for Washington, D.C. tips and hacks videos from the main channel, go ahead and click or tap right down here. Enjoy your trip!